The inch and mile saying and villainy in America is actually kind of becoming interesting to see. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile when they're a villain. And then more and more we're seeing that at first it becomes, no, you simply must be tolerant of this person who's poor and is begging. And now the poor beggar beats people in the streets, and you're not even allowed to defend yourself from them. They already were given the inch, and now they've decided to take the mile. The advocate for the violent beggar, for the violent criminal, violent illegal immigrant, for the sexual deviant who wants access to people's children, the advocate for this, they always, oh, if you just were tolerant and if you just would listen to other people, your ideas, they're from some old time, and anything that existed prior to the thinking of now, well, you know what that is. That's an Italian philosophy based on Kemalism and socialism, and and with the experience from Spain. Over and over and over again. Oh, the fascists. Oh, they're everywhere. They're not us. They're not us who keep networking to get people who were notorious for suppressing what was correct information, big upping what was not accurate and correct information, and saying that, well, the government says so. Some guy who works within the government says so. So this is what we're going with. And if you disagree, we're kicking you off the internet. Remember, every single thing that the liberals said about COVID, they got wrong. It was the nadir. It was the nadir. These people are still masking their children. They are still masking their children. No. It's anarcho-tyranny. It's anarcho-tyranny, and these are delusionals. That's now where we're at. There are people that, because at some point you have certain issues with the fundamental basis of reality, and epistemology, that's all fucked up. Like that boys can be girls, that there's something. This is also a very interesting thing with this. You can just be a woman. You can just embrace it. But now whiteness has to in some way be purged through a long process because of its apparent fear or reactiveness to something referred to as blackness. Now what's interesting is none of this really came up. Like, you don't find references to this, say, in James Baldwin. You don't find the use of this language by, say, Malcolm X. You don't find this language used by Lorraine Hansberry. No. This is because their thinking was old. They're from the past. They were too fascist. That's what it is. That's really what it is. It's they didn't understand by that. They didn't have the language that now people do. Of all people, Malcolm X didn't have the language to express that really the suppression of the blackness was the fear of the black sex organ. Or something weird like that, or some demented thing that you now is starting to come out. Now all of these thinkers of the left that equate every single thing to you are afraid of, like, your genitals or something, or it's like genital energy or something. And then when you look into all the big thinkers on gender sexuality and these ideas that controlling your passions is actually in some way linked to fascism, and that's where the left comes from, this idea of you should just be fat and weak, and give in to your fucking appetites, because otherwise you're becoming a fascist if you become physically strong and you control your mind. That I started to find out. So the philosophers who thought this stuff, like, I think it wasn't Wilhelm Reich, but it was one of the others, not Skinner. And it really affected the way we think of teaching now. I want to say B.F. Skinner, but that's not true either. That's not correct. He was a contemporary of Skinner. And it's just not coming to me. I want to say it starts with an M, but I'd have to look. And not Money, who is somebody else. But the part about it that hit me, again, like all the other philosophers in the area of gender sex, they all were predators. they were all in some way predators, or there's some kind of apologist for predators, or like they had been fired because they were hitting on people all the time, and people didn't want to be hit on, and it was, of course, same sex or something, and it just, the people who were basically degenerates. So a lot of what gender sexual stuff is degenerate boomers that never were able to kind of deal with the fact that maybe they were ugly, or they didn't get any, or didn't get it the way they wanted or something. So they have this weird fetish, especially these dudes. Notice there's no old women. No old women are suddenly realizing they're men. Has that hit anybody? Have you noticed that? You're not suddenly seeing old women dressed up in like Carhartts and like flannels and boots. I suddenly realized that in my 50s I'm a dude, but it's like, if it's some old man like like Surgeon General Levine, Surgeon General Levine, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Some old man just suddenly realized he's a chick. Right. Yeah, this has nothing to do with that this person is a nut job who should not have a job. They shouldn't be employed anyplace. And so it's now totally unqualified, completely and totally unqualified for the job, given the job because it's anarcho-tyranny. But that's the beauty of this, is now so the grassroots Republicans have to start humiliating members. There has to be memes made, videos made. There really does need to be an active effort to start humiliating people that we don't like. I mean, it doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. It just the memes have to flow. It's got to become fun again. Got to start making fun of people. Rumble, that's it. Now that Rumble exists, that it's now it's a whole new kind of game. But the whole thing is, it's got to be funny. If it isn't funny, it's not gonna play. That's really something that hit me. Some of you might remember this. Do you remember how the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing? Okay, remember how that one girl, when the camera was running, said they're all having fun. They're like, and she was like, the red hats are having fun, and it was true. She's like, we're not having. This isn't fun. Like, they're having fun. Like, they're laughing. They're having dank memes. They're all in camaraderie with one another. That's really the thing now. It's really kind of time for really the nationalists to celebrate as if we've already won. I'm totally serious. Celebrate as if we've already won. Like, act like now you can't stop this. That's what it is. It's 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 the unstoppable Americana. There we are. That's where we're at. An unstoppable rise of Americana. And there really is an effort that a lot of people on the right need to like in MAGA country have to celebrate MAGA country. They're like, here it's America, here it's real America, and free America, and also now we no longer have a valid argument for the three-letter agencies. This is getting really bad now. This is now continuous problem. Every so many months, we're having to put out the fire of some kind of board of disinformation. You look into these people, and it always goes back to people who were either saying that the 2020 election was totally kosher or COVID-19 was handled well. That these were all people who were dangerously incorrect. They're dangerous people. They're actually, and that this is now the norm of how almost every major corporation in technology is working now. There really needs to be an approach to this. And there's a lot of GOP members that they're going to have to get this straight. There's a lot of women who are going to have to get this straight. They're going to have to get the idea in their mind right. And what this is that the GOP women, grassroots, have to make it clear to the young men. This would be great if there was a song. Holy shit! If there was a bunch of beautiful women singing some like a good old American song with a clap track, and we need the boys to come back home. We need men at the house. Where are our men? Where are our men? They're going to come and burn down the house. Boys, we need you to come back home because they're coming to burn down the barn. And we need the GOP women to say it. To say, we need the men because we cannot stop these villains from destroying the Republic. We can't. We are women. We can't do it. All of them are all in cahoots with one another, woman, man, and child, to destroy everything that's good and literally to destroy that which is good. To see if there's, to liberate ourselves from that which is efficacious and functional. I mean, I can't believe like that's where we're at. Because the good is efficacious, functional, and in harmony with things, that has to be destroyed or defiled because it's actually holding us repressively in a situation where we get the outcomes that are good. And that's the problem. that's what the problem is. But as long as you say that the outcomes that are good are just in some way bad, and you just use the word fascist, that then you can justify ruining everything by saying, well, I'm freeing it from fascism. That's what this is. They burn your house, somebody burns your car, and they're like, oh, I freed your car from fascism. And I freed you from fascism, because now you don't have to drive every day to work. So yeah, that's where we're at, and so one of a big part of this really is the rallying. There needs to be a morale boost. It's not just one movie, not just one song. It needs to be a culture of people that actually do get along, do things together, and yeah, it's yeah, because you can't break that. It's just like how yeah, you can't break that. I mean that's just how that is. You can't break a legitimate cultural norm, and it's hard to sell ruining fun. And so another thing that's I'm starting to see articles on is that some kind of lockdown thing. They're going to try this again. It's this one I think is going to be a not if they were to do this again, it would not just be a massive failure. What would happen if another lockdown is attempted? They're going to get the kids will riot. The kids will riot in all the major blue enclaves, and then that I mean really, like they'll go totally. They'll just destroy everything. It'll be the end for the blue enclaves if there's another lockdown. That's why I actually think that that could happen. Yeah, I mean, and think of what it will do to their fucking to their local economies if they were to do that again. It would absolutely crush their local economies. There's I mean like it would ruin the West Coast. You know, one more lockdown, that's the end of so much of the West Coast. It's just not even funny. I think they would do it? Yeah, I think they would. I totally do. Because it's evil. And that's where we're at. You know, that's what the Democrats do. You know, that's what the liberals, the progressives, the Greens, that's how they roll. That's how they're rolling now. Is it a bad idea? Is it in disharmony with things? Does it have anything to do with the truth? Is it based on gross inaccuracy? You know, let's check the list of what makes it evil. All right, later.